Come here. Welcome to the Famous Foxes Aftermath Show, live every Sunday on Leicester Fan TV. Come on, you Foxes. Good morning, Foxes. How the devil are you today? How's your weekend been so far? Now we're safe from relegation. That's the first thing. We're safe from relegation. Well, you know what day it is. It's Sunday. It's 10 a.m. So it's time for the Famous Foxes Aftermath Show, run by us fans for you fans out there. And you know what? Your opinion really, really matters. So get them comments in. Let's get going. It's kickoff time. Hold on. It's kickoff time. Come on, you Foxes.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content, like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live. Thanks to our sponsors, Everons, Follow Blinds, Pocker Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Foxes Arms and Rainbows. We are live in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, all you Foxes fans out there. I hope you're well. Well, what a weekend it's been. Leicester ladies, women won 6-2. The under-18s won 4-3 away at Spurs. Absolutely brilliant. And we won at Vicarage Road. We won 2-1 at Vicarage Road. I wouldn't say we were at our best, but you know what? You get 3 points, whatever type of win you do, however you win. If you haven't played that well, you still get 3 points. We didn't play that well, but we didn't play that bad. But we still got them 3 points. I've got our normal young Reedy on with us, and I've also got Becky from the Foss Way. I'll bring Becky in first. Morning, Becky. How are you?
Morning. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Got to be good after a winning.
Good. So you went yesterday, did you? What was your views on it yesterday?
It was a weird game, I think. I don't think either team really created that much, but realistically, at this point of the season, I think Enzo said it's like the biggest win of the season or whatever he said, that is the best win, and I agree. I think once they get that goal back, it was a bit nervy, but to hold on, it just felt a really pivotal bit, to be honest. It was good, and I'm happy with the win.
Yeah, like Chris says, every time in our group chat, he keeps putting every game's going to be an easy win. It wasn't. It wasn't 4 easies, Chris, that's for certain. We nearly sort of kicked ourselves in the backside yesterday with that goal. We gave them the goal, wasn't it? It was the sublime to the ridiculous, wasn't it? Ricky P's goal was absolutely fantastic. We played class football through the lines, drawing them on, and then we were trying to do it again. And I think he just either it came off his foot wrong or he misplaced his pass. And then the last 20 minutes, I don't know about you in the crowd, but for me watching it was a little bit squeaky bum time because Watford seemed to have the upper hand then and were forcing us to defend a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I've not actually seen it back, but from his body shape, you can see he's trying to make the right pass. And in playing the way we do, we're going to concede goals like that. I'm surprised we've not actually conceded more, if I'm totally honest. Wink will be the first kind of player to be annoyed at himself for that. Like, anyone that's annoyed at it, like, we've got, that's our style. That's the way we want to play. Like, we're going to concede a couple of goals from it. Luckily, it didn't mean anything. And then, I mean, yeah, I think there was a couple of times then when they did it, and I was nervy because of those late goals we have conceded. I think realistically, like, they didn't actually create that much. Mads didn't have to do much in the game, but it's one of those where as it goes on, we are defending a bit more. You think, oh, it's not going to happen again, is it? Because we were, even though we didn't create loads, we did still feel in control until that moment. So yeah, it felt nervy. And then around 85 minutes, like, the fans were quite quiet for a short period, and it was like, oh God, you can feel it coming. And then about 85 minutes, everyone just kind of really got behind him again. I think that just helps hold it out, especially with 7 minutes added on.
Oh yeah, when it was 7 minutes, it was. I mean, it being in Spain, watching it on the TV, it's even worse. I can't. It's in the crowd, it's bad, but when you're sitting at home and there's not a lot you can do about it apart from screaming and shouting. And my dog runs off when I start screaming and shouting at the TV, which doesn't help at all. But in my honest opinion, we have the depth in the squad to dispatch most teams, but sometimes we invite a bit of pressure on ourselves, and we end up defending that 1-goal lead, and just don't. We don't feel comfortable sometimes as fans watching that kind of football. But the way that second goal works, like I said, it's a sublime to the ridiculous. But sometimes we invite pressure, don't we? And it's hard work.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think if you obviously that's a complete freak incident in the Winks. Like Winks' pass percentage, all that, he has been Mr. Reliable. It's a one-off freak moment, and I honestly think if that doesn't happen, and we go another 5-10 minutes at 2-0, we might go get a third, fourth. And I think we didn't look like we were playing that kind of nervy, I'm just going to hold on to it as much. But then
we looked comfortable, didn't we? Until that goal went in, we actually looked comfortable. And I don't even think Mads had made a save or even had a cross or anything. We were really comfortable, but I think it's always in Leicester's head where, or fans anyway, you think, oh, that one goal is going to make a big difference.
Yeah, not even just this season. I think Leicester fans are just so sure we're going to mess up in some way that's always in the back of your minds. But yeah, I think there's been games this season where we haven't killed off teams where we should have. I think yesterday it was just weird timing with that weird incident that's not going to happen every week. And I think it was one of them. Like, I think it was the right thing to hold on. And I don't think we kind of fully sat back when it, like, after it, but it wasn't as if, like, I think there's been games where it's like we've not known what to do. I think they knew what they needed to do there, and like I said, they didn't. It's not like they created any big clear-cut chances whilst we were holding on, whereas I think there's been other games where they really have, and it's not been fun.
Yeah, Chris Townsend says Mad was at fault 100% for putting Stinks. I think he's got his fingers wrong there. Winks under in a dangerous position. I'm not sure you can blame Mads. I think it's a combination of both. It was a mistake. It was a clear mistake. It's the way we play, isn't it? Yeah. You look at the build up to the second goal was exactly the same. But it just
probably even more pressure on the players for the goal. I think if we've still got fans saying that it's Mads' fault, things like that, they're not. For me, I don't think, Chris, you're taking on how we're playing. Because that's exactly, we're going to do that 100 times a game. You can't be saying that he's at fault there. Like, the plan was there, the player for Winks to pass to was there. He went to do it, and it just, whatever happened, it happened. But yeah, I'd never put any blame on Mads or particularly Winks, because we're human. Like, mistakes will happen.
Yeah, we're not robots, are we? If we're robots, we won't make any mistakes. I wasn't really a big fan of Enzo's style of football to start off with. Mainly that was because of work, and I wasn't really watching the games. I had them on at the bar, and it wasn't until the end of October, beginning of November, where I was really watching the football. And I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of it, but I know what he's trying to do, and I know he's trying to get the pressure on, make the spaces in the middle third, and drive on. But I still think some fans are still thinking it's a little bit boring. Yes, in patches it can be a bit boring and tedious. But I can see what he's doing. It's taken me a couple of months to understand, but now I understand exactly what he's doing and how he's trying to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one for me. Like, although there are points where it's not, say, 100 mile an hour, I think Leicester fans have always been this kind of like, oh, we're the underdog. We've got to be like full on energy, like I want someone to work hard. I don't want the technical side as much, because you just want work. But actually, like, I think that's a fair thing to say. I wasn't sure at first because it's different, and we haven't been that team where there is the expectation as much. We have always kind of been that underdogs, that this style for an underdog maybe wouldn't really work. Whereas now you've got to change with the times. I think there's sometimes scenarios where there can be times where you think it's slow and there is a quick pass on or that kind of thing. But I just find it hard that there's people that can't see, or like yourself, you've gone, I didn't get it, but now I'm understanding it. You've probably been used to a certain style for however long, and you liked the other style.
I'm 54 this year, Becky, so I'm old school. So I've seen a certain style of football, not this new generation of football.
Yeah.
So it's taken me a bit longer to get in my head how it works.
Yeah, and football is changing, and actually, like, the thing that worries me is that, like, people just seem a bit closed off to it at times. It's like, how can you not see, like, when people are saying, "Oh, we're holding on to the ball," say when Vestergaard is usually playing, he's holding on to the ball. You've got to he's got to do that to draw them in. If he plays the ball early, then you might not get all the space. There's all a reason. I think the difference being when we tried to play possession football under Rodgers, not to the same level, but a lot of it, I could tell you exactly the pass we're going to make, and it's so obvious. Whereas this, it's more calculated, and that you can see every time, even if it's a bit slow, they're doing it because they're drawing her out, then they'll go the other way and things like that. And it's like, I think people have got to be more open to it, because one, it's showing. Like, I think we've not accepted and realised how lucky we are to have Enzo, because I think the wrong appointment, honestly, I'm being completely honest, I think we'd have been bottom half, close to a relegation battle with the wrong appointment this season. I really do. So getting that in, it's a complete different. Like,
I must admit, at the beginning, I didn't really know Enzo or anybody. I never even heard of him, to be honest. Even though he was Manchester number 2, I've never heard of him, to be honest. And I was a bit worried, and I thought, get the table this year, maybe pushing the playoffs, and then going for it next year because of all the changes we made. And one of them changes, you mentioned him earlier, was Yannick Vestergaard. I mean, I was actually a bit disappointed he couldn't play yesterday because of his hamstring pain and stuff like that. 18 months ago, you would have never even thought that, would you, about Yannick?
No.
It's unbelievable how, and it's the same as this next part. I'm going to bring Reedy in now, because Reedy knows who I'm going to be talking about. Patson Dakar, Becky. How has he? I mean, Reedy loves him. Every time you mention Reedy, he actually loves him. 2 months ago, Becky, he was out in the cold, wasn't he? And now he's on fire. In his last 9 games, he scored 7 goals, 3 assists, and he won the penalty as well. It's like Phoenix from the Flames, Becky. I mean, how's he come back into the match day squad, let alone the first starting 11 as number 1 striker?
I mean, I'm really happy for him. He just seems like a really nice guy, and seems just like it's the kind of situation where a player could just kind of go, like, this isn't for me, I need to get away. And obviously he even did an interview in the week where he said he was potentially going to move away in the summer. But I think it's just having, I think his mindset and just going, you know what, I'm just going to keep my head down, I'm going to be positive in the training ground and everything like that. And I do think there's a player in there. I think it's like, obviously it's showing, he's getting the goals, he's getting assists at the minute. I think there's still some stuff to work on. And I think, like, even say the miss against Swansea, you think, how on earth did he miss that? He's a big striker.
That was like his only blip, wasn't it? Out of what he's done, that was his only little blip. But other than that,
I think the hierarchy of our strikers has completely flipped. I think you look at the start of the season, I think you'd have Iheanacho as the first one to fit the system, and then probably Vardy, Cannon was probably a mix, but obviously Cannon was injured, so he was the lower, and then Daka. Whereas now Daka is the main man, and I'm really, really happy for him. I think he linked the play really well yesterday. I thought it was really good, and his movement and his energy and just his positivity. To be honest, I think he's done some really, really good stuff, and I'm hoping that he just continues to get a bit of form. And you never know, like that. I think people writ him off and said he couldn't do it in the Prem, but I really think he actually could next season if he carries on the way he is.
Really, here's one for you from Ben Morgan. Still not convinced. Couple of penalties, a handful of tap-ins, bare minimum for a striker on his wage in the Championship. But the problem is, he's like a fox in the box, reader. You have to be in them positions to score the goals. And
I always say that. He has to be in that position.
Isn't that kind of striker as a fox in the box? Cannon isn't that kind of striker. The only one we've probably got is Nacho, who doesn't do an awful lot of work, but he seems to be in the place at the right time. You've still got to have someone to put the ball in the back of the net, really, haven't you? And go on, I know you love Dakar. He's like your God at the minute. Go, God. You go to church every Sunday morning and pray for him and that. So, come on, your view on Daka at this moment in time?
Like Locke says, he's doing everything he has to do. Obviously, that one chance he had against Swansea, the moment he missed it, everyone was going at him. I think, like Becky was saying, that he's a scapegoat in so many ways because he's been here 3 years. He's not done too much, and now he's getting to the squad and he's performing by getting assists and goals. There's no way you can drop in, and I think people were saying is Cannon better than him. When Cannon was in, Kelechi Iheanacho was at AFCON, Vardy was injured, and Daka was with Zambia at the AFCON, so he was our only choice. But the moment Daka came back, he got straight back in. So for me, I think Enzo honestly thinks he is our first choice at the moment. And fair play to him because he has been scoring. And yes, he's scoring penalties and tappings, but he has to be in them roles. And like the goal with Fatu against, who was it, where he headed it over to him? Stoke, exactly. Them moments where he has to run to that ball, he's not in that position to tap it in. He has to get to it. So, and he has to know what's going to happen because Fatu could have took a shot. So he's in the right positions, and as long as he keeps
took his shot with his head.
Yeah, that's what you get, shots with the head. That's what they call headers. Well, either way, it's good. It's good to see, and like I say, I've always backed him. He obviously hasn't had the best of game time the last couple of years, but at least he's back in now. So that's all I can say about him.
Yeah, like I say, it's come from nowhere, and another lad that's come from nowhere. It's Casey McAteer, Becky. I saw your tweet this morning about him getting another 90 minutes. Is he not one of your? He's a local lad. Is he not one of your favourites, or is he just playing in the wrong position?
I just don't think he's a left winger. I was on the When You're Smiling podcast on Radio Leicester and was singing his praises for in the number 8 role. I actually think the number 8 role is probably going to be his best position for us. I think he did a good job at the start of the season on the right wing, and I really think he can do well there. But it's no contest, Fatu or him. It's Fatu. And I think it was good that we managed to rest Steffi yesterday and him play on the left, but he just looked to me like he was having to overthink and calculate everything being on the left because it's not his natural position. I think he did better in the second half. I think first off he was really poor, and normally I actually would praise his kind of like decision making and things like that. There were certain things and I was like, come on, Casey, like even play when you've not got that confidence, just play the simple ball. And he was just trying different things. So I just don't think he's a left winger. I think there's definitely a role for him. I'm really impressed with him this season, but I think that one of those number 8 roles is actually going to be the best position for him.
Yes. See, when Wilf comes back, however long that is, whether it's a month, 2 months, I think Wilf drops straight back in there. But at the minute, really, do you think McAteer? I mean, everyone knows how I feel about Dennis Pratt. I'd like Dennis Pratt playing in that middle of the park. Reedy, who would you play at the minute? Would you play Eunice? Would you play Dennis Pratt? Or would you play Casey at number 8?
Firstly, I would agree with Becky. I didn't think he had a great game yesterday. I think he was one of the only players yesterday that really, for me, wasn't at the quality we needed. But like Becky said, I was glad to see Mavadidi have a break. In terms of the 8 position, from the game time we've seen the last few games, I will have to say Eunice. I think he's been good since he's been in that role. He's scored 2 goals and his performances have been good. But then, because of his 25-game obligation to buy thing, I'm pretty sure we might be in a position where we don't want to keep playing him.
He's only on Fatua.
I think he's on both, isn't he?
No, it isn't. It's not on. That's only on Fatua. It's not on Eunice.
Okay. Well. Either way, I think that Eunice is my first choice in that role at the moment, in front of Pratt. I did ask for Pratt, like you were asking for Pratt for a while in that role. When we had Cassidy in there, because I didn't know why we were playing Cassidy over them two. And then, like I say, McAteer played better in the Stoke game when he was in that role. But in terms of first choice, you would probably have to say Ndidi, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah,
when he is back.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a new lease of life. I mean, 2 or 3 years ago, you had this. He was like the best central defensive midfielder in the Prem, and then he sort of fell away because I think Brendan Rodgers was playing a different kind of system, and now he's come under Enzo, and he's playing this new number 8 role, and he's thriving in it, Becky, isn't it? Until he got injured, unfortunately.
Yeah. I thought it was really close to leaving. So it's one of them. Like I didn't even expect to barely see him, and he's been revelation. I've loved seeing him in that role, and I actually was impressed with his quality in those final thirds. I think Fatawu misses him making that run beyond him to make the simple ball down the line, and he's been doing those good crosses. But I think Eunice is a strange one. I really do actually like it, but I think he is suited more to playing at home. I think it's right for him. Obviously, this whether he's got anything about number of games to play, it did seem weird. He didn't come on yesterday, and those kind of things. You think, is it something like that? But I think I'll be surprised if he doesn't play some kind of role Tuesday. And I think just he feels like more of a suited to home player. And then Pratt's a weird one. I know that Pratt's quality, but like obviously he won the penalty yesterday, but he just kind of sometimes just feels a bit laboured. And in the second half, particularly yesterday, obviously Winks is on a yellow, so he's like can't do everything he wanted to. And then Dewsbury, what I thought is his poorest game for a long time. And then with him and Pratt, they just look laboured, and I think that was adding to that. Are we going to see it through kind of thing? I think Pratt is the best player, but whether he's the best player for us every time in there, I'm not so sure. So hopefully Will's back soon, and then that sorts it all out.
It does. I mean, last week against Stoke, I gave the whole team as a man of the match. But I think because I couldn't really, there was no like really fantastic player last week. Even though Vardy got 2 and Daka got 2, there was no outstanding player. This week, for me personally, I think there's a choice of 2, either Patson Daka, which I hate to say it, or Ricky P. And I'm going for Ricky P, unfortunately. I don't know about you, Reedy and Becky, I'm not sure. But for me, it'd be Ricky P or Patson Daka. Some of his defensive work was absolutely outstanding yesterday. Come on then, Becky.
I'd agree with Ricky P. I honestly, I've got a feeling that this season he won't even get in the Championship Team of the Year when he is the best player in the Championship by a mile. I can't believe he's in the Championship. He's unbelievable. I agree, Daka was brilliant, and like I say, especially near the end of the first half, some of the defensive work, he was the only one that I was like, he is literally carrying us through to half time. But Ricky P is just a step above. Like he's so good at the 1v1 defending, but then I think in the replays of the second goal that was so good, I don't think you see the run that he makes for Winks to pass to him, and that we just shouted like, what a goal so many times. And yeah, he's some player. Like I'm so glad that he's getting some consistent time without getting an injury, touch wood. So yeah,
that's one good thing, because he has been like made of glass recently, hasn't he? Then all of a sudden he's played all these games and he's not had an injury, he's been rested, he's had a bit of time, so it's good that he's. I thought he played it in the past a little bit too much because he nearly got clipped. If you look at the replay, he just got clipped, gave the ball away. But it was a fantastic hit. Really, there's no need asking you, is there?
Well, there's only one man for me, mate.
Yeah,
Mads Hermansen.
Really?
He was one of the main players yesterday because he was the only man that we had spare. Like Enzo said, he was the one that we couldn't find any other spare men in the game, and he was the one that was always getting to the ball to make the passes upwards. And after we conceded that goal, he was one of the key players to keep us in the game because the deflection shot, good save, and there was just many times where he had to be the main man to make them passes through to the goal. So for me, it is got to be with him. And
Chris is agreeing with you, really. That's unusual. You and Chris agreeing.
Obviously, there was other good performances, like say Ricky P and all that. But for me, I think the reason we won the game yesterday instead of drawing or losing was because of Mads Hermansen, and he was a big reason why we scored 2 goals yesterday as well.
Yeah, we'll go. So it's like we're a bit all different here. Me and Becky have gone for Ricky P. You've gone for Mads. People have gone for Daka. We're going to move on to Tuesday night. I take it you've got the builders in at your house then, Becky. Is it you with the drill?
I think so, yeah. There's some work going on, and I just keep going on to mute so that you don't have to hear it the whole time. It was
all the comments there. I haven't really noticed what's coming on. Go on to Tuesday. What kind of changes would you make for the Tuesday night game against Sheffield Wednesday? Because just before we go to there, Southampton, Leeds, and Ipswich, their next 2 games are both away. Both of them teams, all them 3 teams have got away games this week. We've got 2 home games. They've got Southampton have got Bristol and West Brom. Easy. I know Southampton are what 25, I think now. I think they were beaten 25. They could easy lose there. Leeds have got Swansea and Plymouth. Again, not winnable games by far. And Millwall and Swansea for Ipswich. Are Ipswich out of it though, Becky? 15 points behind. Have they dropped what we thought they were going to do?
Bloody hell, 15 points.
They're 15 points behind now, Ipswich are.
Yeah. It just feels like, I think the Championship's a big momentum thing, isn't it? And I think it feels like Leeds and Southampton are on the up and Ipswich probably not so. I just think it's, for me, I just think we don't even need to worry about anyone else. We just keep doing our thing. Even Southampton now, that like for me, it's about keeping the distance from Leeds and Ipswich if they do find the form again. And then just see how we go. I think for Tuesday, I think there will be some changes. I think that's
Mavadivi, yes.
Yeah, I'd expect him to come back in. Maybe Eunice. I don't really know. I've not really thought about it. It'll be interesting to see because it felt like a few people got knocks. Like JJ went down for a bit. It looked like at one point Doyle had like done his shoulder or something, and then he's up and fine. So I think there will be some changes. I think this is the kind of scenario, but maybe not as many as when we played Sheff Wednesday away, and obviously got a not quite desirable result. But I just you know what, I don't really overthink it with that because I just think I just really trust Enzo, and I'll just let him make the decision, and we'll see when we see the team sheet.
Yeah, for me personally, I'd bring Mabadivi in for Pratt and move Casey to the number 8. Even though I love Dennis Pratt, he's not doing it for me at the minute. This last few weeks, he hasn't really since he's come back from his injury. It's great to see he's got 85 minutes yesterday in the bank and in his legs and that. I just don't think he's doing it enough to have a regular starting role. So I would move Mabadivi instead of McAteer, put McAteer at number 8, and I think that would be it. I wouldn't even, if Vestergaard's 50-50 or he's got a chance of playing, I would leave Ben Nelson there because I thought Ben Nelson had a fine game yesterday. I thought for his age, he's got an old head on young shoulders, Reedy. So what are your thoughts, Reedy? Is it about the same or roughly the same for you?
I think with having 3 games in a week, I think that's one reason why Mavadidi was dropped or benched, I guess. And I would bring Eunice in, like Becky says. I think he's more of a home player, so I think maybe he comes in and gives Pratt a rest after being in 85 minutes. And I would even go and say that I think maybe Ricardo would have a rest because I don't want him to, but with playing, was it Middlesbrough on the weekend next week as well?
Yeah.
I think maybe he's more important for that game instead of playing against Sheffield Wednesday. And you'd maybe bring Chardry in. I think he's done well when he has come in, and he did well yesterday when he came in to keep the game as a win. So I'd even say that, and then other than that, I think that's probably it. So Mavadidi in, Eunice in, and maybe give a rest to Ricky P, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit sentimental having Vardy in for Sheff Wednesday, but I'd leave Daka up top. He's scoring goals. It's confidence. It is confidence, but you never know with what Enzo, like Becky says, in Enzo we trust his team selection, whatever he puts out, has done well for us this year, apart from 4 games in the 4 defeats. Other than that, you've got to trust him with what he's done. But I can understand where he's gone with Vardy in for the Sheff Wednesday. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Becky. Scoreline Tuesday night. What do you think?
My normal answer to that is I don't do predictions, but I'll try and be positive.
That'll be fair. We'll leave it as that. If you don't want to give it, that's not a problem. I honestly don't know. I think we like I said earlier, we've got the tools in that squad to demolish a lot of the teams. But like I say, sometimes we invite pressure onto us. So I'm just going for a 2-0 win, hopefully a 2-0 win, quite a convincing 2-0 win. But I can see it's conceded at the same time. Just that little bit at the back of my head, still back here. Even though we've only conceded 24, I think it's 24 goals. Yeah, 24 goals this season. Just that little bit at the back of my head that thinks they might just sneak one. Reedy?
3-0. At home, I think that we should be able to easily get past them. Obviously, away was a different story because they were, to be honest, they could have been 2 or 3-0 before we even started against their place. So, again, if we play well, we have played well the last couple of games, even though it has been tense yesterday. But for me, I think we should get past them quite easily. It all depends if any players get rest. So, but I'd say 3-0 for me.
3-0 what? Dak again, all 3 knowing you?
Mate, I said 3-0, so I'm going to put a bet on for him. So I might as well try. I've got to try. I've done it twice already. It's not coming. He's scored 2 now, so he needs a hat trick at some point.
He needs to get a hat trick at some point. Right, that's it then. Becky, cheers for joining me. And where can everyone find you? Because you do a bit of work for someone, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I write for the Fossway, and some of the articles from everyone else on there, particularly, are very, very good. So yeah, have a look on there. And then I'm on Twitter as Becky TLCFC. So thanks for having me on. I'm sorry about the background noise at times.
No, not a problem. You're welcome. And we'll see you in Alcudia again someday soon.
Yeah, see you soon.
I found out you've been donkey's years ago. All right, I'll see you later, Becky. Cheers.
See you later.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See you, Becky.
See you later. There we go. Another fan's view from the ground. You were there, she was there. It was pretty similar kind of views from sitting in the ground, wasn't it? From both of you today, which is unusual because you're normally quite different to everyone, aren't you?
I'm glad that Becky saw what I saw in McAteer. I don't want to say that someone was crap because he wasn't awful, but for me, when Mavadi's sitting on the bench, you need to utilise him when someone's not playing well. And the moment that we saw Mavadi come on, and then we took Fatu off, I was a bit baffled to say that McAteer was the one who had an okay game instead of a good game. So it is what it is, and like I say, hopefully we on Tuesday we can get even 3 more points because the other teams that are near us are all away games. So hopefully that can be good for us and get to 14 points difference, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's 11 points clear Southampton at the minute, and their game in hand is against Hull at home. So that's the week after next. So they've got like a busy schedule. They've got like 6 games in 3 weeks, I think, something like that. So
is that because of their replay of the FA Cup?
Yeah, they played the replay last week on Wednesday, then yesterday, and then Tuesday, then Saturday, and then Tuesday again. So their squad could be stretched, which hopefully we shall see. Yeah, Chris says it's on the 20th, the Southampton Hull game, which we'll all be looking forward to see what happens. Right then, Rudy, cheers for joining me. Thanks a lot, pal.
Yes, no worries, mate. Ready for another Tuesday night game.
Another Tuesday night game. They come thick and fast, don't they? In the Premier League, in the Championship. Sorry,
they will be in the Premier League soon, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, no way. Rightio, pal. We shall see you later. Thanks for joining. See you, Rudy. There you go. Once again, Becky on from the Fossway. Much appreciated. I've just got this one video. I forgot to put this video on, courtesy of young Reedy, who was there at the game. Just to the fans. Just listen to the fans. Turn your sound up and listen to this. There you go. Let's just bring Reedy in. Just 1 second, Reedy. I forgot to ask you. I forgot that video. Enzo getting a bit excited on his birthday.
Oh, he said in his post-match interview that it was one of the biggest wins of the season because of how we had to fight out the win, and it was great to see. And like I say, that's the first time he's done that kind of fist bump, and the amount of fans saying, "Oh, we try and copy like Jurgen Klopp when he does it to their fans." It's nothing like that. It's just he was happy, and he's what's he called? His reaction to when the final whistle blew as well was incredible. So
yeah, he doesn't just sit on the touchline and look in his little black book and make notes.
I knew you were going to mention it. I knew you were.
But he gets excited on the touchline. You can say because he's been booked 3 times. He's had a touchline ban for them 3 bookings. And now he gets excited. He gets involved with the fans.
This is what we've been asking for. We've been asking for. Don't get me wrong. Not every manager's like that. I think if you appointed Scott Parker, I don't think he'd be like that. But it's good to see our manager wants to see us win, even if it is against Watford, who are in the Championship. Next year, if we're beating Arsenal or anything like that, you'd probably be going crazy, as in mental.
Getting a camera and taking photos of players.
Exactly. So, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? So... but yeah, I had to film it because I knew when the players coming over, I knew it was going to be a different atmosphere to what it has been the last couple of weeks. So yeah.
You all right, and read it. Well, cheers again. Thanks for that. I won't be bringing you back on now.
Adios.
Pal, be good. All right, there we go, lads and lasses. Once again, thank you ever so much for all of you for watching. Been absolutely brilliant. Becky from the Foss Way, Reedy from Leicester Fan TV, getting the fans view, and all your comments, much appreciated. 10 o'clock every Sunday morning, you stop what you're doing to watch me, this bald-headed, old, fat, 54-year-old this year. Cheers for watching. It's ciao, ciao, adios, goodbye, arrivederci. Come on, you foxes.
Thanks for watching Leicester Fan TV. Thanks to our sponsors, Everod's, Barlow Blinds, Poker Pies, Pink Car Leasing, Distillers Direct, Hologram, Take Me, Nubian Co, The Fox's Arms and Rainbows. Run by the fans, for the fans. Follow us on socials at Leicester Fan TV and visit leicesterfantv.com for all the latest news, views and videos.